Okay, I am going to be real with you for 1 second. Do you ever wonder what it actually looks like to build a thriving online community from scratch? Not the highlight reel version, but the real messy, beautiful, behind the scenes story. Well, grab your coffee and your wine. There's no judgment here because I'm pulling back the curtain on the Rise Up Lounge community and sharing the untold story of how this whole thing came to be. Here's the thing about big ideas. They usually start small. And honestly, the Rise Up Lounge didn't begin with some grand master plan. It started with the feeling, that nagging sense that something was missing. You know that feeling, right? When you're scrolling through Instagram, seeing everyone's wins and transformations, but you're sitting there thinking, okay, but where are they actually doing this? And who's actually supporting them? What does this messy middle even look like? Because here's what I was seeing. People were more connected than ever, but somehow feeling more alone. We had access to all the information in the world, but what we really needed, that was transformation. Real lasting change. The kind that happens when you've got people in your corner cheering you on, holding you accountable, showing up for you on those hard days. And I kept asking myself this one question that I just couldn't shake. Where could people go to grow authentically without the pressure to be perfect, surrounded by others on the exact same journey? That question, that was the spark. So I did what any entrepreneur with a vision does. I grabbed a whiteboard and started dreaming. And let me tell you, it wasn't glamorous. No fancy office, no team of advisors, just me, way too much coffee, and a whole lot of sticky notes. But those brainstorming sessions, they were the magic. I was asking myself all the hard questions. What should this community really stand for? Who needs this the most? And the one big one, what's going to make Rise Up Lounge different from any other space that's out there? And slowly, beautifully, three core values started to rise to the surface: authenticity over perfection, progress over perfection, and collective growth over individual achievement. Okay, let me say that again because it's so important. Authenticity over perfection, progress over perfection, and collective growth over individual achievement. Those weren't just nice sounding words. They became my foundation. But then came the next question. Who is this actually for? And let me tell you, the answer became so clear, it gave me chills. This was for the dreamers who'd been told to be realistic, for the go-getters who felt stuck despite all the right things, for the high achievers who knew, you just knew they had another level in them, but couldn't get there alone. Rise Up Lounge would be the place they'd be searching for, where your ambition isn't too much, where your vulnerability isn't weakness. It's actually your superpower, and where every single member is committed to lifting each other higher. Because rising alone, that's exhausting, but rising together, that changes everything. Okay, so now we had the vision. I had the values. I knew who this was for. But here's what got real. I needed to put it into words, and not just any words. Words that would make someone stop scrolling and go, wait, this, this is what I've been looking for. Can I just be honest? Writing a mission statement is hard. It's one of those things that sounds simple until you actually sit down to do it. Because it can't just sound good. It has to feel true. It has to inspire. It has to capture the entire heart and soul of what you're building in just a few sentences. So I did what any perfectionist does. I wrote draft after draft after draft. I'd I'd write something, think it was perfect, sleep on it, wake up and go, nope, that's not it. Delete, start over. But with every revision, I got closer. Every word was intentional. Every sentence mattered because I kept asking myself, will this resonate with someone who's never heard of me before? Will it make them feel seen? Will I inspire them to take action? And then, after what felt like a million drafts and probably just as many cups of coffee, it finally clicked. Here it is. Rise Up Lounge community exists to empower individuals to unlock their highest potential through authentic connection, unwavering support, and collective accountability. I believe that growth is not a solo journey and that together we rise. So when I tell you I got chills reading this final version for the first time, I honestly meant it because it wasn't just words on on a page anymore. It was a promise, a commitment. If you think the hard part was over, let me tell you, the real work was just beginning. Because having a beautiful mission statement and a whiteboard full of ideas, that's exciting. But turning all of that into an actual living, breathing community that serves people, that takes grit and dedication and honestly a whole lot of coffee. There were so many decisions to make. What platform should I use? How do I create guidelines that feel supportive, not restrictive? What does my welcome experience look like? How do I make sure every single person who joins feels seen and valued from day one? And with every decision, big or small, I kept coming back to one question. Will this serve my members' growth? If the answer was yes, I'd move forward. If it was no, or even a maybe, I went back to the drawing board because this wasn't about building something that looked good on paper. This was about building something that would actually change lives. And you guys, when we finally hit launch, when that first notification came through that someone had joined the community, I literally teared up. What started as an idea on a whiteboard, a question I couldn't shake, that was just the beginning. The foundation was built with intention, yes, but a community isn't made by the person who starts it. It's made by every single member who shows up, who shares their story, who supports someone else that's on a hard day. So here's where I am. The Rise Up Lounge community that you see today, the connections, the breakthroughs, the incredible transformations happening every single day. It started with one question, one vision, and the courage to believe that something different was possible. So if you've been on the sidelines, wondering if this is for you, wondering if it's the right time, wondering if you belong here, let me answer that for you. Yes, yes, you do. There's a seat at the table with your name on it because when we rise, we all rise. And I can't wait to see you grow.